So these are a little bit more practice with naming and formula writing for ionic compounds. I picked a couple that people struggled with on the quizzes that we did in class. So let's start with this one, AlBr3. So just go ahead and take a look at that. Got a little periodic table down below, but you can have your own out if you want to. Look at the charges, decide if they need to be included in the name. See if you can name this one. Okay, so the correct answer on this one is simply aluminum bromide. Yes, it's true that aluminum being in group 13 has a +3 charge, or 3+, and that bromine or bromide has a -1 charge. That's where the subscript 3 came from. But it doesn't have to be included in the name because only the transition metals, these guys down here at the bottom, or in the middle I should say, have variable charges, and therefore aluminum is not a part of that group. We don't need to include the Roman numeral for its charge. All right, let's try another one. Ba3P2, give it a shot. Okay, this one is actually very similar to the last one, to the aluminum example, aluminum bromide. Ba, barium, is also, it's right there in group 2, it's also not a part of the transition metals. So we don't include Roman numerals. So this one would simply be called barium phosphide. No Roman numeral. Nothing to indicate the charge, because if you say barium phosphide, you should know what the charges are and therefore what the formula is going to be. All right, this one was very commonly missed, a little different problem. Tungsten 6 selenide. So obviously it has a Roman numeral, so it's a transition metal, tungsten is. I just want to give you a hint here to keep an eye on both charges. So make sure that you write out both charges and then make sure that they are balanced before before you're done with the formula. So give it a shot. Okay, so tungsten has the symbol W, and in this case it has a 6+ charge, which we know because of the Roman numeral. And then selenium, or selenide, is Se with a 2- charge. We know that because it's in group 16 of the periodic table. So bring my periodic table over here. Selenium is right here below sulfur. So it has a -2 charge, just as everything else in group 16 has. So least common multiple of 6 and 2 is 6. So basically we already have enough tungsten, but we do need to have 3 selenide ions. Okay. Let's try something with a polyatomic ion. So I'm going to encourage you, get your flashcards out, go through, study these. You have to know them all. You have to know all 20 of them. In this case, the polyatomic ion I'm talking about is sulfate. So go ahead and see if you can come up with a formula. Okay. So iron in this case is a +3 charge. We know that because of the Roman numeral. Sulfate is SO4 with a 2- charge, and that is always, the charge for a polyatomic ion never changes. So we're going to need to multiply the iron by 2 to get to +6, and the sulfate by 3 to get to -6. And the way I do that is I use the parentheses. The parentheses have to go around sulfate before I put the subscript 3. Okay, so that would be iron 3 sulfate. Kind of a tough one. This one actually has 2 polyatomic ions in it. See if you can figure out the formula for ammonium phosphite. Okay, so ammonium from your list is NH4 with a +1 charge. phosphite is PO3 with a -3 charge. So to balance the charges, we would actually have to have 3 ammoniums, pardon me, and just 1 phosphite. So I'm going to rewrite this just so it's neat. The ammonium has to go in parentheses in order to have 3 of them, and then we just have the 1 phosphite. If you want to put the phosphite in parentheses, even though there's only 1 of them, that's fine with me. Just to serve as a reminder that that is just one, that PO3 is all 1 particle. That's your choice. Okay, last one, NiNO32. Come up with the name, please. Okay. This one is going to be nickel, and since nickel is a transition metal, I know that there's going to be a Roman numeral there. I also have memorized my polyatomic ions, so I know that NO3 is nitrate. I should also know that nitrate is -1, and since there's 2 of them, that means that I have a total of -2, so the nickel here has to be +2. And you can see there's only 1 nickel, so the charge on that nickel would be +2. All right, keep studying your polyatomic ions, and yeah, go back and you can rewatch this as much as you want to. Come to class with questions.